You must be at least 18 years of age to listen to the following podcast. I am Robert Black, and you are listening to Sexual Heroes. My guest in this episode is Ric, better known to his many fans as ProudBator. After nearly a decade performing on his own pay-per-view website, this popular professional masturbator and self-described solo sexual can now be found performing, educating, and normalizing a historically taboo act on Just for Fans. He is also one of a handful of expert masturbators appearing in a series of training videos on the website Bait World. Ric, thank you for joining me today on Sexual Heroes.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I am really excited to have you. You have no idea. You're also known as ProudBator on the internet.
That's right.
And yeah, so I bow to the king of all masturbators.
Don't say that.
It's true. You also, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong,
Yep.
Identify as a solo sexual.
That's 100% correct.
That really interests me. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Okay, so yeah, again, it's good that you mentioned about what it means to me, because I've had in the past few months or so, when I came back to baiting online, I sort of mentioned it on like Twitter and other social platforms. And boy, was I bashed, because I think that a lot of people see it in different ways. And for a lot of people, this is sort of a myth. It's like a joke. And for me, that's a lifestyle. That's what I've been throughout most of my life. When someone comes to me and says, "Oh, are you gay, straight, bi, top, bottom, or versatile, or whatever?" I just find it really strange, because it's about me and my body. It's nothing to do with other people. So the way that I see solo sexuality is someone who gets off by enjoying themselves, mostly by themselves. The fact that I may bait with a mate from time to time, which I do, doesn't make me anything other than a baiter. That's what I sort of the message that I try to convey to people. And I guess it's kind of difficult to swallow to a lot of people out there. And the way that I identify myself today is as a solo sexual, nothing else.
What was your past like? Did you experiment with women, with men, and then come to the conclusion that you're a solo sexual? Or has that kind of been what you are your whole life?
What can I say? I think, as far as I can remember, I've always been like this. Always. And I remember very early on, when I was literally 18, 19, which was a million years ago, I was already doing my own thing. Like, I would shut my door, I would get my cameras, and I would do my stuff. And it has been 90% of my life, mostly solo stuff. So I could easily say I identify as pretty much a solo guy, literally, and it's always been like that. But I've tried a few things. Yeah, I have tried. And I didn't enjoy it.
You did not enjoy it?
No, I didn't enjoy it. I remember the first few sexual experiences that I had were awful. Like, fuck. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, fuck, there's got to be something better than this. Maybe I wasn't lucky enough to find the right people.
And you've chosen to share your solo sexuality with the world.
I did.
And that started about a decade ago.
Maybe a little bit longer than that.
A little bit longer. Okay.
Yeah. 15 to 16 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has that affected your career at all? Because you have not been a professional solo sexual all that time. You've had
Yeah.
what I would call, what people call a real job.
Yeah, that's right. Early 2000s was when I started to post stuff online, but it was not professional or anything like that. And I used to use another name, which was, I think it was Slimboy81. And I can't use that anymore because I'm not slim anymore. But and I'm not a
Well,
boy either.
and you're hardly a bear.
Yeah, well, but I mean, I cannot, absolutely cannot identify myself as a slim guy anymore, and definitely not a boy. I think it was mid to late 2000s is when I sort of realized that there was something there for me. Like I started posting stuff and I started getting people, oh, I want to send you donations. I want you to do this and that. And in exchange of money at the time. And obviously I had no job. I had no career. I had only just started to go to uni. And I thought, fuck, that there is something there for me. I might as well just try it. And then in the late 2000s is when I pretty much designed the whole ProudBator website, which lasted for about 10 years. And that's when I became a professional in that sort of field.
And putting yourself out there, has that been a conflict?
Oh, yes. Yeah, for many years it has. Yeah, because at the end of the day, because you are not, as you said, you are not a professional, you're not doing that full time. At times, I had a lot of conflicting sort of double life sort of thing. I remember when I was doing the ProudBator website, I was going full time at uni, and I never told anyone at all. And although many of the papers that I was doing were on sexuality, I never actually mentioned it to anyone. So I was kind of hiding in the background, the guy sitting in the back of the class, and just thinking about what movies I was going to record when I got home. So that's how it kind of worked for 5 or 6 years. And then when I finished my schooling and everything, I got a job. And again, I never told anyone about it, and I just kept going until such time when I thought, "Fuck, this is not really working for me. Now I have to make a decision."
And you do this full time now, correct?
That's correct. Yes, I have. In the past few months or so, I have left my job, which was a really nice, high-paid job, to do what I love, which is bait. That's what I love to do. And when I hear sometimes, when you go on like places like Bait World or even on Twitter, and you're called out by people saying, "Oh, you're just here for the money. You're exploring people, blah blah blah." And I just keep thinking to myself, dude, you have no idea how much I have sacrificed to be here today. And
Right.
yeah, and that's something else that I'm quite proud of. I'm quite open about it. That's what I love to do.
I envy you. If I could get to that point at some time, that would that would be awesome.
You should enable me. I think what you have to do is you have to put yourself out there and just take the risk. And I've always been a person to take risks. 90% of the time, it paid off.
Now, currently, you're on the platform Just for Fans. How did you choose that particular platform? And can you include in that answer why not something like Chatterbait?
Chatterbait. That's an interesting question. I've done a lot of research on which platforms to go for, and I had a couple of options like OnlyFans, and then there was something else, and blah, blah, blah fans. And then I came across Just for Fans, which I had never heard of before. So I went in and I had a read, and I really liked the idea that there is a real person behind this whole thing. So I started reading about it, and I thought I felt connected to the whole thing because that's how I had ProudBator, the ProudBator.com website. It was run by me, a human being, a normal person at home or in a small office, running my own thing and including people in it in the whole process. Like I would normally tell people or show them how I was doing stuff behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not see that kind of vibe on other places like OnlyFans, for example. To me, OnlyFans is very mechanical. You go do your stuff and that's the money and that's it. And it's not something I wanted to be part of. That's the main reason why I joined Just for Fans, because I really liked that idea that there is a real person behind this whole thing, and there is a sort of a small sense of community, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just lying to myself about it because at the end of the day, it's business as usual. Just going to mention about Chatterbait. I've never, believe me or not, I've been around for a long time, but I've never, ever done a live show before. Never.
Hmm.
Because I don't like being told what to do. Like the moment I get someone telling me, turn around, do this, show me that, or
Hmm.
say this, that's when I'm ready to just close the camera and see you later. Bye. If you're going to be there telling me what to do, it's not going to work.
So there's no submissive side to you.
No, not at all. No, I'm in charge 100%.
One of the reasons that I like Chatterbait for me as a
Yeah.
performer, if people come in the room and start telling me what to do, I don't like it. But
Yeah.
as soon as they drop some coin,
I know. Yeah, I know.
that turns me on.
Yeah.
Weird psychology there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we are providing a service, right? It's like there's no denying in it. We are providing a service. We are doing the stuff and we are getting the coins back. Like I absolutely love when I'm sort of post a video on just for fans, and then I get a couple of donations, and then soon after the donation comes a little message saying, "Oh, I love you to do this or that. If you could, that would be awesome. And by the way, I send you a donation." Like that sort of thing. It's very different from like turn around, do this, do that. I'm giving you money.
Yeah, show me
It's
your hole.
show me your hole. Yeah, put your legs up. I want to see that.
Mm.
It's very different. I think it is the way that people ask you stuff. Like if
Yep.
people ask me, "Hey, I have a good idea for a new video for you. It would be nice to see you do this or that." I'm so open to, like literally grab my camera and go and do it because it makes me really excited to see the excitement of the other person and the ideas that they have about me doing the stuff. I think that I'm not a person for a live stream.
Mm.
I feel like I would end up with tantrums. I would end up closing the camera because again, I don't like being told what to do. And I have so many friends who are on Chatterbait, and I often come around and say hi and stuff. But I can see the sort of ideas that people, the viewers, have, that they are in charge of everything and they are telling you what to do. And it just doesn't work for me, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of being asked to do things nicely,
Yeah.
you were asked by Bait World to make some educational videos.
Yep.
Can you tell us about that?
Okay. So that was about 2 months ago, when season one came. Oh, no, that was 3 months ago, I think. I had only just returned to the Bait arena. This was July, late July, I think it was. So I got an email out of the blue from Milking Coach, which I had been following for many, many years. And I fell on my feet. I couldn't believe it. And he says, well, I'm actually working for Bait World, and I would love you to produce something for the site in which you're sort of instructing people or giving them ideas on how to do bait related things. And I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it. I thought, fuck, this is so amazing. People recognize what I do and think it is worth showing to others, particularly on a platform like Bait World, it's literally the number one bait community in the world, isn't it?
I think
So,
so.
yeah. So the video that I created was, what was it? Let me just recall, because I make often 2 to 3 videos a day, so I've got about 50,000 videos. The video that I made for Bait World was I was teaching people how to make noises.
Hmm.
'Cause that's what gets me off. The more noises you make, the better. That's why I'm so vocal, like exploring the sounds that my cock makes, and I like playing with oils and things like that. And that's what the video was all about. I think it was quite a hit, to be honest. I think people really enjoyed it on Bait World, and I hope they did.
Well, and speaking of noise and being vocal, you do realize the power of your accent.
Oh man, it took me it took me many years to speak on my videos because if you watch my first videos from the ProudBator website, there was not a word because I didn't want people. You see how silly, eh? Because in my mind, if you were not American, you would not be doing porn. That's
Huh?
the idea that I had because Americans had the. It was like the supreme, anyone in porn had to be in America, and that's the idea that I had. Because people who come from other places, they often feel like, oh, I'm not in Hollywood, I'm not in in the ghetto thing. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it, and that's the idea that I had. But this was many years ago, like I said, 12 years ago or so. And I
Well,
didn't want people to hear my accent because I thought it would turn them off. That's what I thought. I thought, fuck, the moment they realize I'm not American or British, that's the end of my career.
well, it's a huge turn on.
Thank you.
I get that thrill of being asked to do a video like that because
Yeah.
I was also asked to do one for season two. But what was even more thrilling for me
Yeah.
was the fact that you had done one and that they were also asking me. I'm a big fan of
Oh,
yours.
thank you so much. Wow. I just don't know what to say, really. Thank you. I'm really humbled for that. Thank you.
Going back to the solo sexuality,
Yeah.
I want to learn a little bit more about that. When a baiter who maybe doesn't identify as a solosexual, maybe they're gay and
Yeah.
they're masturbating, they might fantasize about sucking dick or getting fucked, being in a gangbang, or watching
Yep.
gay porn. Or what what kind of fantasies do you have to propel you, or do you even need a fantasy? Are you just in the moment?
Well, that's a really good question, actually. Believe me or not, I get off watching videos that are similar to mine. But I don't watch myself, but I watch other baiters.
Mhm.
If you want to turn me off, is show me fucking scenes or sucking or whatever. It just doesn't work for me. I like seeing men coming. I like seeing men working their cocks and talking about it and squirting and that sort of stuff. That's the stuff that gets me off. And again, going back to the solo thing and how confused people still are about it, I often get messages on social media and on my site of people saying, "Oh my god, I want to fuck you, I want to suck you, I want to this, I want to that," and I just, very politely say, "Oh, thank you very much, that's very nice, but it doesn't work for me because I like masturbation. Masturbation. That's why the name Proud Baiter. I bait, and I get off by watching people baiting as well."
I don't think it's that confusing. I'm kind of surprised. When we talk about baiting, we're talking about
Yeah,
masturbating focused on your dick, but as a solosexual, it expands. You also enjoy using toys
I do. Yes.
and not just on your dick.
Well, yeah.
You enjoy penetration.
Well, not really.
Oh,
This comes as a surprise. Not
yep.
really, because when I first started back then, I was using some dildos and stuff, and I actually enjoyed it. But again, I don't think that I would. I don't. I cannot say never because you should never say never. But I don't see myself ever being fucked by a real person. But because I'm in control of what I'm doing and I can do some training and stuff behind the scenes, I can work on my ass a little bit sometimes. I've recently got a couple of S toys and I posted online and I keep pushing it over and over because to me it's such an achievement that I put something on my ass because I have not done that. So if you just heard about me and look at some of the stuff that's out there with me with a big dildo up my ass, you think, oh, this guy's a pro, eh? But it's literally to me is an achievement to be able to do that because I'm not really at all into penetration.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you. I think I've done a lot of homework to get to the point where I could go on camera with this stuff up my ass. As it took a lot of practicing, I can tell you. But it's fun. I enjoyed it, and I'll probably do it again a few times.
I can get on cam and I can masturbate, but I have a hard time, pardon the expression. I will not or have not at this point use a dildo on myself on cam. I've had one of those Bluetooth plugs in my butt, but
No, I try that.
I, for some reason, I'm uncomfortable with the dildo use. I don't know why. It's
Oh
just,
man, yeah.
do you consider yourself an exhibitionist?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why do you ask?
Just clarifying, because I
Yeah.
mean, there are people who are on Chatterbait and putting out videos who
Yeah.
don't consider themselves exhibitionists. In fact,
Oh.
I interviewed one for the very first episode in season 1 who said that he did not consider himself an exhibitionist. So,
I think that what could happen is a lot of people they have different needs and priorities in their lives, and some people they may do that just because of the fun of the moment, and some other people they may do it just for the money. Um, in my case, I love being watched. That is what I like. That's what makes me, I guess, an exhibitionist because I like being watched. If I know nobody's watching, or that nobody's gonna get off watching what I've done, then the whole point is void. So in that sense, I am absolutely an exhibitionist. Yeah.
oh, I totally get that. I'm right there with you. You said that you do from time to time get together with another person to bait.
Yeah. Not often though.
Is there a bait scene in New Zealand? I mean, here they have in the major cities, well, pre-pandemic, they had, New York City Jacks, San Francisco Jacks. Is there a scene like that in New Zealand or no?
No,
No.
absolutely not. So what happens is I've got a couple of mates that I actually met online throughout the years, and people that I've known really well, like people that I could consider my closest friends, and we talk to each other every day and things like that. And sometimes when like not now because of COVID, but we would travel and meet at some stage. It's somewhere along the way, and we would spend a whole week baiting and making videos and stuff. But the answer is no. I've desperately tried to find people in New Zealand that are not 19-year-old guys, which is not my thing, to bait. Like there is no such a thing as a bait community, guys who get together or have a club to go to and bait and stuff. Most people they want to fuck. They just want to fuck. There is no such a thing as masturbation. That's the sort of thing you would do by yourself at home.
As an exhibitionist, have you ever had an opportunity to put on a performance for a live group? And if not, would that be something that you would enjoy or no?
Oh. No, it's actually a really good question because a couple of months ago when one of my mates was here, we went to this club of sorts. I'm not going to give names, but we went to this club, and I had the most amazing exhibitionist time ever because I had never experienced something like that. We were baiting around. I had this huge hat on, and I was walking around people, and it was just so good because everybody was really respectful, but I could see that people were getting excited about it, and people would come and shake my hand and talk to me and stuff. And so, in a way, it was a performance. It wasn't planned or anything like that. It was just it's a club that's got an open space, like an outdoor space with swimming pools and things like that. And I've been there a few times. And what happens is most guys walk around with towels and just like, what's going on? So the first thing I did is no towel, just walk in, take my clothes off, and walk around. And then I had this, as I said, a hard on. I would sit on a chair or stuff, and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
You are my hero.
And again, it's not the sort of stuff that I do often, but I think I wouldn't have a problem doing that to an audience that's willing to watch it. Like I wouldn't impose myself into an audience that's not prepared. And again, there's always a time and place for everything. Like I don't quite get the idea of guys wanking on shopping centers and things like that because it's not the sort of thing that I envision for myself. Because you're pushing yourself, like to people who are not actually asking for it, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, it should be in an environment where it is welcome.
Yeah. So, so the answer is absolutely yes. If I had some sort of event or something organized in which I had to bait for people to a live audience, I think I would have fun. It would be
Oh,
fun. Yeah.
I definitely want to be there.
I guess it's all about your mind space as well. You need to be okay and comfortable with it, which is another thing that I sort of work on all the time. Like if I'm not comfortable, like there are days when, some days I wake up and I think, fuck, I feel like shit today. So there's no way I'm going to get my camera into anything. I would just have a day off, do stuff, walk my dogs, play some games, or travel a little bit. I love sort of road trips. And as you know, New Zealand is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And I like traveling around, hop on a car and play music and stuff and listen to the Sexual Heroes podcast, which I've been doing quite a lot in the last few months. Do you want to tell me about your bait experience just for a change? What is it like? I know you've spoken about sexuality and things, but where do you see yourself nowadays in the bait arena if you are a baiter?
That's
Because
a great
you've done
question.
you've done a lot of gay porn, haven't you?
I have, and I said in another podcast, the one award that I won in
Yeah,
all of my porn career was for a masturbation scene. And I've just always enjoyed bait world and cam rooms and things like that. And
yeah,
then about maybe 6 years ago, I had to move out of state for a job to an area where there was zero opportunity for sex.
yeah,
And that's when I discovered Chatterbait.
yeah.
And so that became my sexual outlet. And I think that's when I realized, how much of an exhibitionist and a baiter I was, how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can
And
totally relate to that.
yeah. And so then when I moved back to California, I continued. Ever since then, I've been doing the Chatterbait and have really just sort of embraced
Yeah,
the whole bait community thing,
yeah,
the brotherhood. Even more recently, I rediscovered Twitter because I had started a Twitter account, I think back in 2010. And at the time, I didn't get it. It just,
I,
it just seemed like there was much happening on it. So I abandoned it
yeah,
for that reason. And also because of a new career that I was starting and I didn't want to mix Robert Black with the new
yeah,
career.
yeah.
But then recently I said, fuck it. And I decided to resurrect myself and start the podcast and get back on Twitter. And that has really done a lot to make me a happier person. It's really
Yep.
added to the quality of my life, just being able to be myself again.
I sort of can relate to that as well because I was literally away from the internet for well over 2 years. I've also decided to go back to Twitter. I still don't get it. Like, I still don't get it. And again, it may sound a little bit selfish or horrible, but most of the time when I go live is to promote the work that I'm doing.
Hmm.
And I really hope that people enjoy it. And I have to say, I'm quite generous with what I show people because a lot of people they will just show you like a little blurred picture of swords and you have to go and figure it out what it is. I'm not really a social media guy, but I try to stay, as you said, connected. Puts your life into perspective and you get to see other people as well. And you get to sort of be in touch with people. I think this is really important if you're living in some sort of a small community like the Baiter community.
As a business person doing your own porn, it's really a necessity.
It is, yeah.
If you're a porn model for big studios, you don't need it, but you have to promote yourself on social media if you're going to survive doing your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why I've decided to go back to Twitter. Because again, yeah, if you're not seeing, you're not remembered. I used to have 60,000 followers on Tumblr back in the day, and then Tumblr changed and deleted a whole lot of blogs and stuff. And when I saw that happening, I quickly removed myself before I get removed, because I've got this thing that I would rather leave than be shut down, if you know what I mean. So I thought, I'm think it is a good time for me to leave Tumblr at this stage. And I was lucky enough, because a couple of months later, all of my mates' blogs were deleted, and that's when I sort of walked away for a little bit from the social media platforms.
So I just want to make sure everybody knows you were asked to do a follow-up Bait World tutorial. And do you want to tell us what that one's about, or should that be a surprise?
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to be part of season 2 that's coming probably within the next month or so, because I know that they post one video every few weeks, so they don't, just dump everything at once.
Right.
But what I'm doing is obviously an instructional video, which I really enjoy doing, and this one involves a couple of toys. So I'm going to be showing you how to use certain toys, because I can guarantee you 90% of the people using the toy are using it wrong, because I can see it online. And I have friends, and I have a lot of contacts and people who come to me and say, hey, I bought this shit, it doesn't work. And I just can't believe it. Like, how does it not work? It's like the best deep throat toy in the whole fucking planet. How can you not get off? It's because they're not using it properly. They are not pushing the right buttons, or, like, there is a whole lot of things that go with the toy. It's not simply just oil it up or lube it up and off you go. It's just, you need to work it. So this video is going to be all about that. And I'm going to go into very small details on how the thing works and how to get it off. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I really hope that people enjoy it and learn something out of it, really.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show today, ProudBator.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure.
For information with links about a guest appearing on Sexual Heroes, visit the show notes at sexualheroes.com or on your favorite podcast app. And while you're there, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. You can follow and message me on Twitter at RobertBlackXXX and on Facebook at RealRobertBlack. Thanks for listening.